Okay, so what's up, you guys? I'm currently in a reading session. Um, this week flew by. I really started off the week finishing a few books, and I kind of hit a wall where I basically was like, man, it was so much to process. Um, to where I really just sat with my thoughts. I originally planned on getting through this book right here, um, "The Jews of Spain: The History of the Sephardic Experience" by Jane S. Gilbert. I'm currently on the fourth chapter. This is my bookmark, and that book had just literally just had my mind flabbergasted to where I just had to take a break. I finished Neely Fuller's book. Where is it? It's somewhere up here. I finished his book. Oh, here we go. Excuse my bookshelf. I finished this book. These are my notes. I finished this book, and this book gave me so much to think about that that book gave me so much to think about that I actually just wanted to take a break for a bit. And then I have this book right here. I'm about 2 or 3 chapters from finishing. I thought about just diving into it, but a part of this book is this the wrong book. I'm sorry. It's another book, not that book. It's another cartel book. Um, but I'm almost done with reading, and this is a book that I've been thinking about reading, and this is the book that I'm currently I in order to like get through the break, I started reading this one. This is Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and it is one of those books that talk about the black experience in America. He wrote the book as though he's talking to his son, his 15-year-old son. I have an 8-year-old son, and so I definitely reading the book touched me. I probably should be done with the book soon. I like that it's not an overly lengthy read or too wordy, you know. But recently I basically had hit a block where I had read so many different books to where I just wanted to take a break because between doing video essays, between taking notes, I felt as though for the past, for sure, month, all I've been doing is just reading books. And when I would finish a book, I would feel a little bit of sadness, like, dang, the story has ended. And sometimes it's hard to really get into the next story because the next story may not take off as fast and stuff like that. And I realized that one book leads into another book. And so I'm gonna finish that book. I wanted to kind of get back into I've been reading about Europe, the the European experience, the Native American experience, that I kind of want to get back to uh African studies and books that deal with what black people went through in America. So I have one book about the last lynching that took place in the United States called Fire in Crane Break, the last mass lynching in America. I definitely want to read this book. I know it's going to break my heart to read, but sometimes it's like that, right? I mean, destroy and rebuild. This book is a nice precursor to that. I think that overall today I really didn't feel like reading, you guys. Like, I was just kind of like in a zone. And a lot of times, how I get myself out of that zone is by just saying, you know what, I'm going to do it. And then I usually just start. And then once I start, you know, I usually could get going. But it's so easy to fall into a pattern where you start saying, like, oh, I'm going to put it off. I'm not going to do it. And the next thing you know, one day, 2 days go by and you haven't, you know, done the task that you set out to do. So this week, this weekend actually, that's what I plan on doing, getting through a few books and thinking about what I want to read. Lastly, I think that the purpose of learning and education is to, you know, create new questions in our minds so that we can get new answers, right? And I think that my personal quest is to learn as much as I can learn about the world. That's a personal quest. I was packing my suitcase earlier because I'm about to go on I wouldn't call it a vacation, but I'm leaving here. I'm going to be going overseas for a few weeks. And usually that's when I do a lot of my best reading, when I'm traveling, going through airports, and I get to my destination and I'm in a new environment. I could just sit back, relax, and just read. And sometimes when I'm outside of the United States and I'm looking at the United States, I could look at it from another perspective, right? And so in 2 weeks I'm going to be leaving. I'm gonna be going to the Caribbean, and I'll do a video about my time there. Once I come back, I'm gonna be going for 2 to 3 weeks. And so right now I'm just trying to do spend these last couple of weeks uh reading and getting through some of the books that I want to get to, so that when 2025 come, I have a shortened reading list, so that I could because right now I have like 15 books that I plan on reading in 2025. I kind of want to knock that down to like 10 or like 7 books. So that means the first 3 months of the year, I'll probably have to digest a few of the books that I currently have, because I know it's going to be more books that I want to read. So I'm going to do a review on some of those books later. Um, Finishing the Neely Fuller book and at the same time reading this book up here really made me want to read some of the other books that's on my shelves. I don't necessarily have a particular order. I just sit back and think like, okay, what do I want to read next? But it's not just about reading it. Sometimes it's about rereading it and studying from the text, right? Not just speed reading through the text, but actually absorbing it and consuming it and challenging the perspective. So that's been my little update. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, like, share, subscribe, comment. What books are you reading? I would love to know. I'm always interested. I have an array of interests. So if you like to share, please do. Peace.